Well, I've managed to get out for, well, it's going to be a bit more than 24 hours. So I'm not fishing syndicate, I'm not fishing any of the ponds at work. I've come to a day ticket lake that I fished a lot many years ago, Thorpe Lea fisheries, and I've forgotten how great it is, to be fair. It was probably the very first sort of day ticket lake that I fished, regularly, and really sort of, got a feel for day ticket fishing on here. It always used to have pretty good form in the winter, and I just fancied a bit of a session. So we're a couple of days after Christmas. It's peed it down with rain today, absolutely chucked it down. So I didn't do any sort of videoing of setting up, because I literally had a good walk round, had a lead around to try and find some spots. I had a particular swim booked, because you have to book an overnight swim in advance. If it's not too busy, then obviously they're flexible with that. Gary, the owner of the lake, is fantastic. I've known him for years. I did fish it a few times before he took it over. It used to be sort of owned and managed by British Waterways, I think it was, and then Gary took it over, and he must have had it for close to 20 years now, I guess. It's very noisy behind me. You've got the motorway just behind me. I was going to fish sort of swim 14. I know there's a good sort of deep spot just out in front of that swim. But after sort of chatting to Gary and also having a good walk round, he was out in the boat a day or two ago, and saw quite a few fish over this side. So I'm currently sat in swim 53. I'm only fishing sort of 12 to 14 wraps out. There's a nice deep sort of bowl. I've had a couple of knocks, but then I've also been absolutely punished by the coots. So I'm just going to see how it goes for a couple more hours. I have seen the guy that's in swim 12 have a fish. The only thing that I've seen that I think was a fish earlier on today was in front of sort of swim 14, but I wasn't 100% sure if it was definitely a fish or if it was one of the ducks. There's a lot of ducks on here at the moment, so I'm going to give it a go. I've probably got a couple of hours before we start to lose the light. If I start seeing things and I've got sort of half hour, 40 minutes before the light fades, then I might change, I might move swims. But it is the middle of the winter, it has been cold, it's absolutely chucked it down with rain today, so I'm not expecting lots of fish or very quick bites, so it might be worth me just sort of sitting on my hands and seeing how we go. So hopefully we'll have some luck. I'm just looking at the chap over in 12 again now, and I think, oh no, he's been putting some bait out, so I don't think he's into another fish. Good luck to him if he is, but that would probably change my mind whether I needed to move around to that side of the lake. So hopefully we'll have something to show you on the camera. My setup is exactly the same as I would do, on the lakes back home or the syndicate. So I've got my ever faithful Sonic Tornus 10,000 XD reels, and they are on my Gravity XT rods, and then the SKX alarms. I'm fishing two rods I've got on little small 12mm nutcracker wafters, topped off with tiny sort of piece of corn. One's on a yellow and one's on a bit orange, and then the middle rod I put that out on a washed out yellow 12mm pop up on a Ronnie rig. So there's a bit of silkweed on that spot, so I just wanted it to sit just above that. I put 10 or 12 spodfuls over all three rods. All three rods are fishing the same distance, but I've sort of spread them out sort of two rod lengths apart, sort of left and right. And it's a boilie and pellet bait rule on here, so that's the only two baits you're allowed to use. So I've got a mixture of different size pellets, and 12 and 14mm nutcracker boilies from Urban, and that's what I've spotted out. Again, it's not warm weather, and the fish aren't overly active, so I'm going to take it a little bit steady and see how we get on. So fingers crossed, we'll have a little chat again soon and see what we can come up with. Well, the rain did stop for a little while and I had a cup of tea and I reset my right hand rod also onto a Ronnie rig, because I've had a couple of knocks now on the middle rod, which is the only one that's on a Ronnie. So I've now changed it, so I've got 2 out of there on Ronnies and 1 on that little wafter, topped off with a bit of plastic corn. So sat back in my bivvy to make myself a cup of tea and the weather has turned again, so I'm going to hide in here and drink lots of cups of tea. Right then, so I had a bit of a change of swims. Nothing happened for me last night apart from it being extremely windy. I've come and had a little sit in the memorial shelter they've got built here at Thorpe Lea, which is something I've not seen here before, which is really nice. It's some absolute cracking artwork on the walls. So Gary, the owner, and his daughter came round this morning doing their morning checks, and we were having a chat and he was explaining where he'd seen some fish a couple of days ago, and as we were talking, only a couple of swims down, which I couldn't see from where the trees were, he said the fish has just rolled out of there. So as we walked through to have a look, another fish, probably the same one, rolled out, and then a darker fish just behind it rolled out. So I sort of looked at Gary and his daughter and said, are you alright if I move in there for a few hours? And like, yeah, crack on. So I've only moved a couple of swims down. I'm now in 55. I could either fish the same spot between 55 or 56. I went with 55 just so I could still have one rod on the sort of towards the baited spots that I've been fishing yesterday and last night. So I was full of confidence, but that was about an hour and a half ago, and I've not seen any more fish show. I kept it very, very light. I didn't spod. I've just literally put 3 baits out, well spaced apart, around the areas that I've seen the fish show. Small little bag of pellet hooks on the end, and then the rig that I'm using. So one of them's gone back out on a Ronnie, but 2 of them are my sort of trusty winter wafter rig really, so I thought I'd just quickly show you that and go through it. So at the top there then is a 12mm dumbbell nutcracker wafter, and this one's topped off with a bit of pink fake corn. And then I've got a size 6 jungle microbarb hook from PB, a little kicker just to pull the hook link in there a little bit and help the hook turn in the fish's mouth. And then I've got one of the PB bottom liners, a little sinker just to help hold that bottom of the hook and the last little bit of the rig, pin that flat to the lake bed. And then I've got sort of 6-7 inches of 25-pound jelly wire in weed green, and obviously then a little anti-tangle sleeve just to slide over the quick release swivel on the end of my leader. So that's the rig I'm using. I fish this rig all over the place, and generally it seems to hook and hold very, very well. So I'm optimistically confident that we're going to have something. It's the only fish that I've actually seen on this trip, and for him to show like that around the back of the island in the shelter away from the wind does give me a little bit of confidence. I am starting to second guess everything I've done now. I'm clearly out practice when it comes to day ticket lakes, and I've obviously got very used to being on a syndicate where I know the lake very, very well. I get to walk around it, I see where the fish are. So this is actually really good for me to give me a bit of a kick in the arse to get back to, looking for showing fish, listening to the bailiffs, seeing where the pressure is from other anglers, and then working on those sort of concepts really. So let's see how we get on. So we've got a few more hours during the day that I can fish. I'm going to go down and make myself another cup of tea. I'm just about out of milk, so it'll be the last one for the day. And fingers crossed, we can have something on the bank to video. So hope to speak to you again later. Well, it looks like that's it then for this session. I'm a bit deflated, if I'm honest. I should have gone with my gut feeling. I should have gone in swim 14. Even seeing those fish this morning, it filled me with confidence, but I just thought I haven't got enough time. You know, the fish, it's been very cold, you know, the lakes were frozen only 10 days ago. They're not moving around, they're not feeding hard, and yeah, I feel a bit down about it, to be honest, but there you go, these things happen. I am definitely coming back. I've forgotten what a great little setup it is here. You know, there's loads of swims, ample space, you know, Gary and his daughter run it, full of knowledge and happy to sort of give you as much information as they can. I don't necessarily think the rigs were wrong or my baiting approach was wrong. I just think I picked completely the wrong area of the lake. Yeah, seeing those fish this morning, I thought, come on, that's got to come good. But it's been close to 3 hours now. I've had a little knot which could have been a grebe that was swimming around. It's hard to know. So never mind, I'm going to get packed up, I'm going to get home, and I'm going to get cleaned up and warmed up because it's dropped really cold now. So yesterday it rained and rained and rained. Last night it blew an absolute hoolie and woke me up about 4 o'clock in the morning, proper blowing, and now it's dropping cold. So I'm going to wrap it up. I've run out of milk, so I can't have another cup of tea. I'm going to get my kit packed up, back to my truck, and I'm going to head off home. So hopefully, see you again soon.